right. We can do it, baby. You know, we ask a lot of YouTube. YouTube, we had the other day I was doing an education on YouTube, and it said about 30% of the people on YouTube watch live streams. Imagine how much energy, how much bandwidth, the employees, everything that YouTube does, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Powerful, great company. I love being a partner with YouTube. I love being a partner with YouTube. I love being a partner with YouTube, and I love being a partner with YouTube. All of my partners and friends, get your funky butts on in here, man. Get your funky butts on in here, man, for this hot like fire hot Thursday, man. Hot, hot, hot. Hot presses, hot off the presses. What we doing? Trump news, Trump news, Trump news. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. You know what it is, man. Come on in, man. Get your funky butts in there for this Thursday. What a Thursday. I'm so excited. I know you're excited, man. We got a lot to talk about. Some of our favorite people back in the news, and we get to talk about them, man. You know, some of our favorites, you know, it's the usual suspects. It's the usual suspects today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The great trifecta. You know what I'm saying? And the old man. It should have been a Western. The way, you know, Cool Hand Luke. You know what I'm saying? It comes to town. That's more what it was like. It was more like a spaghetti Western. You know what I'm saying? With the young Spanish cow gunslinging. You know, the young Spanish gunslinger with the old OG, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it came out to be, man. Come to town to get their butt whoops. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. AOC, what's his name? Bernie came to town, got their butt whooped. But we going to have a talk about it this morning, man. Come on in, man. we going to have a talk about it this morning, man. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. It's so important. First person in the chat, get shouted out. First person in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt. First person in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt. Who gonna be first in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt? Double tap, hit the like button as you come in, man. Double tap, hit the like button. That's what you got to do. Double tap, hit the like button, like, share, subscribe, man. #1 podcast, most intellectual chat room. And this is the discussion for today. You know we're going to have a round, raucous discussion, man. And there's a lot to discuss. I told you, black conservatives, we in the driver's seat. We in the driver's seat. I said we in the driver's seat. We in the driver's seat. Yes, we is, man. We driving the conversation. We driving the culture. We driving the content. We driving the views. Clap it up, man, for the black conservatives, man. Clap it up for MAGA out there. If you're MAGA, if you matter, let it be known right now. Clap it up for MAGA right now. If you're MAGA and it matter, let it be known. We gave them time to come in and get a shout out. They didn't want to get a shout out. So we're gonna cut it off and keep the flow going. We're gonna cut it off and keep the flow going. How about that? How about that? I like that even better. I like that even better. Let's come on in, everybody can enjoy themselves. Come on in, everybody can enjoy themselves. You don't have to put up with the chitter chatter, the rigor-ratter. Come on in, everybody can enjoy themselves. Yes. Hercules. Man, it's about to be Halloween, and it's about to be my wife used to trick me. It's about to be Halloween, it's about to be Thanksgiving, it's about to be Christmas. The holy days is here. Clap it up, man. Hey, man, hug the babies, kiss the babies, hug the loved ones. I want everybody to spread love and unity on the channel, spread love and unity in the world, spread love and unity at home. And that's what this channel is all about, man. Love and unity. That's my interpretation of MAGA, Make America Great Again. What's great to you? Great to me is family, man. Family, man. God and country, man. Family, family and football. Y'all remember that movie? family, God, family, and football. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about for me over here, man. I pray that's what it's about for you. Today, we're going to have a great discussion, man. We've been leading the discussion talking about the government shutdown. Yesterday, we went into details about the government shutdown. I revealed to you some details about what the Democrats did with their $1.5 trillion budget buster. I haven't really seen much about it outside of this conversation. So if you're here and you want to get some knowledge, you're in the right place. You're definitely in the right place because I haven't seen too many media outlets actually listing the demands. You know what I'm saying? And then what's funny about the demands is that post came out from the Republican side. Today, what we're going to talk about is this town hall debacle, this town hall failure between an old person that needs to be retired. Shout out to Bernie Sanders. He's over 80-something. How old is Bernie Sanders, man? Mitch McConnell fell the other day. He fell on his knees. Thank God he retired. Nancy Pelosi, all the baby boomers, go ahead and retire. We need the baby boomers to retire. Bernie Sanders, Mitch McConnell, all y'all go ahead and retire. Chuck Schumer, y'all need to get up out of there and get up out the way, man, so we can get something done in the government. Double tap, hit the like button as you come into the podcast. Share and subscribe. Double tap, hit the like button, share and subscribe. So AOC, now what have we been talking about? We've been talking about this government shutdown going on for 15 days. There's been 2 town halls and the Democrats look horrible, right? Because the Democrats cannot articulate what is actually going on. The fact of the matter is, in case you don't know, Mike Johnson in the House passed the clean CR. So this is past the House. A lot of people you're hearing discuss this like AOC. She's not a senator. She wants to primary Chuck Schumer from the left so she can be in the Senate and be actually part of the conversation. But if we're being honest, like Stephen A. again, great thing he said about Jasmine Crockett. The same thing applies to AOC. She's not in the conversation. Why she's in the town hall next to Bernie Sanders, who's actually a senator, I think we can understand why how they reacted to the question about whether or not AOC would primary Chuck Schumer. The math and the writing is on the wall, AOC, because why are you in the conversation? You're not a senator. It's a lot like Gavin Newsom interjecting himself into national politics and geopolitics when you're the governor of California and you let the whole state burn down and you don't have water and you lost $100 million. Why is Gavin Newsom interjecting himself into national politics and geopolitical matters when he's the governor of California and you've been doing a bad job? Gavin Newsom, do a good job at being the governor. AOC, do a good job at being a Congress representative. You're not a senator. You're really not in the conversation because what happened? We are in control of the House. MAGA Republicans and Mike Johnson, the head of the House, they passed a clean CR. See, a lot of people don't even know what's going on. Do you know who Mike Johnson is? House Speaker, Republican leader Mike Johnson and the Republicans of the House. Do you understand how government and politics work? You don't see any, that's the Democrats. You know the penguins from the Madagascar. You don't see anything. See, nobody on the left explains to you how things work. Well, right now, I explain to my audience how government works. What do we use as an example? We use Jasmine Crockett in the 5 seats. Jasmine Crockett turning these insequential, non-sequential 5 seats into a national story. I said the 5 seats don't matter because the way in the math the government works. Currently, the Republicans have power in the White House with Donald Trump. The Republicans have the majority in the Senate, and the Republicans have the majority in the House. If Jasmine Crockett in Texas politicians did a 5 seats, it would not change the fact that the Republicans still have a mandate from the American people. It's called a mandate when you get voted. No one gave the Republicans all 3 branches of government, but the American people voted them into all 3 powers, all 3 branches of government. The American people gave the Republicans power. So the Democrats have no power. This is what you need to understand. Those 5 seats did not matter. Those 5 seats. So Texas gets the 5 seats. California gets the 5 seats. What happens mathematically? Mathematically, we are back to where we started, which is the mandate the American people gave the Republican Party. And only 6 months into Donald Trump's presidency, we have the hostages back home. We have over $200 billion from tariffs. Right now, during the government shutdown, being led by the Democrats like AOC and Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump is able to use tariff money to to pay soldiers. Right now, Donald Trump is funneling money that he has collected from his policies. When the last time a president collected money? We have had debt skyrocketing. We have done nothing to address the debt. This is the first time in 10 years politically we have a president who cares? And it's only happened in 6 months. Do you know Donald Trump has 4 years in office? What has he accomplished in 6 months? You know what else is very sad and perverted about the Democrats and liberals? That they would like to lay blame at Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans like myself for every problem that you've caused. How could it be our responsibility with this government shutdown? Trump has only been in president 6 months. This is the perverse perversion of the left wing. This is what causes the radicalization, because they want you to believe Trump has some power over you magically. That's not how politics work. You have to get consensus, which is why AOC and Bernie Sanders are doing a town hall. Why else would they do a town hall? They're doing a town hall because they need consensus. They have no leverage. Art of the deal. Donald Trump, mega, best president we've seen in over 20 years. Definitely the most productive president. I was watching it's been 2 town halls. One town hall, Stephen A. Smith, another town hall, CNN. And one of the things I noticed about the different town halls is that the Democrats lack a coherent, consistent message. The Republicans are lockstep on why it is that they can't get the government open. The Republicans are not afraid to tell their constituents. Listen to this. The Republican MAGA party is not afraid to tell their constituents that the government is not opening because of subsidies. I saw on a debate where in Portland, we have a problem in Portland right now. We have terrorists. I say there's a front line in Portland. I saw supplies being delivered to people attacking federal agents. I say we have civil unrest. The civil war is already starting in Portland. Be that as it may. In this debate, what came out is that in Portland, Oregon, in the Oregon budget, they have $1.5 billion, $1 billion set aside to pay for Medicare and sanctuary city policies for immigrants who did not come into the country legally. I'm going to say that again in case you didn't understand. Portland, Oregon, where we have a crime problem. The Oregon state, or Portland is supposed to be a bedroom community, and we don't understand the mathematics behind how the violence, the drugs, and everything gets out of control. We'll go look at the budget. Look at Democratic spending and Democratic liberal misappropriation. In Oregon, what you have is $1 billion going to sanctuary city policies. It's actually going to the Supreme Court because it's not legal to spend this money. But you have $1 billion allocated for health care, for $10,000 EBT cards, hotels. You guys remember this. Remember the video I played for you? You guys remember the $10,000 EBT? Where you thought the money came from? You think the money didn't come out the budget? You think you wasn't paying for those EBT? That money came from your tax dollars. In case you didn't know why we voted for Trump, why we are MAGA strong. Can I get my Trump hands? Anybody at home got some Trump hands? Because we've been winning. Why we are MAGA strong is because we understood where the money, there ain't no free money. The hotels, thank you, Doge. The hotels, the EBT cards, the emergency rooms all came out of our tax dollars. So when states collect tax, they create a budget based on the revenue that they collect out of your paycheck. In Oregon, the revenue that they took for you and they budgeted, they allotted $1 billion for people who did not immigrate here legally. And this is the ironic part, speaking to the violence and the problem that we have. They only allotted half of that amount for the police. And this is what's happening in democratic cities, right? Because it's so evil and sinister. In East Oakland, California, just like South Sacramento, just like South Chicago, just like East St. Louis, they defunded the police, $14 million. But the ill part about the taking 14 million from the Oakland Police Department is how in which they applied that 14 million, because it's still your tax money. If you guys understand, do you understand defund the police? Defund the police doesn't put money back in your pocket. Defund the police doesn't lower the taxes in your city, your Melrose, your HOA. Did you guys know that? They still take your money. They still tax you and take your money and defund the police. They just spend the money on something else. And Democrats promised, I promise. Democrats promised blacks, minorities, low income, magic. I'll give you magic. You know, defund the police and I'll fix all your problems. Defund the police, give me that money and we'll clean up the city. Defund the police and we'll stop crime, we'll stop drugs, we'll stop divorce, we'll stop single parent home, we'll stop illiteracy. What happened with the money? Well, what happened in East Oakland? What happened in Portland? What happened in East St. Louis? What happened in Washington, D.C., Chocolate City? What happened in Chicago is Democratic, liberal, left-leaning city councils misappropriated the funds. Yeah, the $14 million that Oakland took away from the police, that liberal city council, you could imagine the type of city council we have in San Francisco and Oakland. You could tell the direction. I'm not going to get into that rainbow colored direction, but I'm just telling you that money got misappropriated and reappropriated into things that did not benefit anybody black, anybody low income, and anybody minority. Actually, the money went to $1 million liberal enclaves to improve their communities and raise up their property value. What we've learned in Oakland is the money was spent in already places like Moraga, North Oakland, and Berkeley got improvements in their neighborhood, and millionaire Democrat liberals. Can we have a real talk this morning? I just want to talk to you, man. I just want you to be honest, man, about what's going on in your country. Just like in Chicago, where's the money being spent? Because taxes are being collected. The police are being defunded. Crime is going up. And no one is asking the right questions. Hey, you defunded the police. Hey, Mayor. Hey, Mayor Bowser. You defunded the police. Hey, Mayor of Chicago. You defunded the police. Well, what did you do with the money? See, this is the question we should all be asking, because what's going on with the crime? The Chicago mayor said he needed $1 billion. Trump, don't come to Chicago. Trump, don't come to Chicago. No. Just give me $1 billion. But what about the money? You spent $100 million on immigrants. $100 million. You defunded the police. Where's the money going? See, this is what's happening in the country that no one is talking about. What about budgets and shutdowns and misappropriation of funds? So the Democrats throw out a $1.5 trillion budget buster. It goes nowhere. The American people are not see, things changed after COVID. Can we have a real talk this morning? There's a mentality change. It's not woke. It's not woke. I think it's broke. I'm going to coin a new term this morning. Because something changed with the American psyche after COVID. We had woke before COVID. No, after COVID and quarantine, now we have a broke mentality where everybody understands. The question that came to Stephen A. Smith in that town hall was from a black FAA. He was an aircraft controller, but he's driving Uber at night because the government is shut down and he needs money to pay tuition for his daughter. So he is wondering, his question was, how long is the shutdown going to last? That's not woke. Do you understand? When this air traffic controller who has to work 2 jobs because he's not getting paid from his federal job, he has a question about, I lived through the longest government shutdown with Obama. I lived through the shutdown in the first Trump administration. My question is, how long is the shutdown going to last? That's a broken mentality. That's not woke. Some people may interpret, oh, he's woke, because he wants to know, he understands this may take a long time because of all of the BS with the different politicians, right? That's not woke. That's broke. That's a lack of belief. That's a lack of faith in the Congress and the Senate and the government overall. And he's a federal employee. He's not saying, can you solve the problem? He needs to get back to work to pay tuition for his daughter. And he understands that the government is broken. So now I am coining a new term. I told you we in the driver's seat. I told you black conservatives are in the driver's seat of this conversation. If you're here, if you're watching, you are definitely in the right place. It's no longer woke. It's no longer woke when you have hardworking Americans working 2 jobs for the federal, and he was a black man. What did I say? What have I been teaching you all week? I said blacks overwhelmingly represent federal employees. I looked it up. I read you the statistics. 18% federal employees are black, but blacks are only 13% of the population. And what did the research say? The research says, due to those mathematical numbers, blacks overwhelmingly represent large portions of federal employees, and the Democrats know this. The Democrats know who they're hurting. The Democrats, Stephen A. Smith walked off the stage. Let's give Stephen A. Smith some props. Give Stephen A. Smith props for being honest about Jasmine Crockett, because he was honest. I don't care about the backlash. Stephen A. Smith, I got your back. Give me the backlash. They not gonna break me, Stephen A. They not gonna make me say Jasmine Crockett incompetent ass, and I'm not gonna apologize to Jasmine Crockett after she wasted taxpayer dollars in Texas over nothing. Because Stephen A. Smith, you new to this politics, but we not new in MAGA, so we not apologizing to Jasmine Crockett because we know it's all political theater. Her wigs, her makeup, her lipstick, her nails, it's all political theater. And you know what else is proving it? Marjorie Taylor Greene has been elevated. There used to be a rivalry between Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Guess who won? MTG is being talked about for president, and Jasmine Crockett is not even on television because Stephen A. Smith, Charlie Kirk was right about Jasmine Crockett. She's wasted time, she's wasted money, and she's not ready for the show. Just like Kamala Harris, and it's been proven. AOC, not ready for the show. AOC, total meltdown in the town hall. AOC, are you gonna back at it like a crack addict, automatic like a phomatic, built for tragedy, made for static? It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last, so we're gonna get this done real fast. You are watching the Perfect Timing Podcast. Mega MAGA Thursday. We are talking about AOC, Bernie Sanders Town Hall. AOC, Bernie Sanders Town Hall failure, debacle, complete misery, destruction, unable to be coherent and get across a message. This is why the Democrats don't have a chance in 2026. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. I said the Democrats don't have a chance in 2026, and they know it. And they know it. How's everybody doing this morning? We excited, we fired up and ready to go. Y'all ready to talk about this? Y'all ready to talk about this? Let's get it going, man. Y'all ready to talk about this? Let's get it going, man. Let me give you some details. Let's get into it. And then we're going to go to video. I know we love the video. We're going to get into the video. We're going to get into some details. Before we get into the video and the detail, we got to get some likes. We got to get some likes. Hit the like button, man. I'm under these lights. Under the lights. Under the lights. You see my black ass melting away under these studio lights and this studio microphone. Shout out to Rode Microphone. Shout out to the entire studio, man. We in the Perfect Timing Podcast studio. Hit the like button. Hit the super chat. Hit the join. Hit the share. Double tap. Hit the like. If you don't know how to like, in the top right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. It's called ellipsis. Hit that ellipsis. It'll give you choices. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a downward face. A chevron. Hit that chevron. You can hit the heart emoji. Just keep hitting it. Just keep break the screen on the phone. Just keep hitting that heart emoji, man. Just keep hitting the double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Yeah, open the chat back up. Mega MAGA Monday. As soon as we open up the chat, one of you. Ah! Thank you very much. Fire it up, man. Fired up, man. We closing it back down, man. We closing it back down. Let's go, man. High points from AOC and Bernie Sanders CNN Town Hall, man. High points from Bernie Sanders and AOC CNN Town Hall, man. Man, I'm sweating bullets in here, man. We shining. High points from AOC and Bernie Sanders CNN Town Hall, October 15th. Urgent plea to end shutdown protection. Sanders and AOC committed to doing everything we can do to resolve an ongoing government shutdown. Now in its 15-day, which has furloughed over 1 million federal employees. That is a shame. Over 1 million federal employees furloughed, not getting paid. And we in the holiday season, man. People got to buy Halloween costumes. No pumpkins for those kids. People got to buy Thanksgiving. That's why the question came in, how long is this going to last? Employees are strained essential services while stressing that any funding bill must include negotiations on healthcare subsidies to avoid a broader collapse. The Democrats are not backing down on funding sanctuary cities. It's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. I need to know from you in the comment section, in the chat, after the live stream, how do you feel about the way the Democrats have shut down the government because they don't have power, they don't have influence. They put a $1.5 trillion budget buster out there, and it doesn't seem like they want to negotiate, and they're staying stuck on the fact that they want to pay for immigrant health care. I need to know from you, what do you think? Should we be giving away money? Should we continue Biden's failure? Because there was a failure from the border czar, Kamala Harris. There was a failure from Biden. Does anybody understand how we got here? I talked about this many times about the mass immigration debacle. I said America loves immigrants. I'm an immigrant. America built on immigrants, right? But when America wants immigrant labor, we know how to do it correctly. I work in healthcare. Did you guys know that Kaiser has a nursing school in the Philippines? Do you guys know we had a shortage of nurses in America? And when we had a shortage of nurses in America, what we did is we built a school in the Philippines, right? This is the proper way. And then we created programs to bring in those individuals into America properly and legally. That's just going back recently, just to show you that we know how to do immigration, mass immigration correctly when we have a need. Biden administration said we had a need. That may or may not be true. Individuals can argue that in the chat. But we've had success, and we know how to do immigration successfully when there is a need, like when we had shortages in nursing, right? So we do this with higher education and science too. We foster relationships. We do this in baseball. Do you know we do this in baseball? Just to be really simplistic about understanding the debacle that took place in the last administration with the border czar. She's black. I don't know she was black. It's okay if she's black, but let's talk about her being the border czar, because she said she wasn't the border czar. So we have schools and farms, they call them farms in Puerto Rico, in different places in South America to get baseball players, right? And then there's a process and procedure that we bring them into the country, just like the nurses in Africa, just like the nurses in the Philippines. Now, going back further, we had something called Ellis Island that I've been talking about all week. Do you guys remember Ellis Island? See, we built Ellis Island because America had a need for immigrants and immigrant labor, and we needed a large influx of immigrants. But in order to protect America and the current American citizens and structures, right? Education, financial, all of those, healthcare. In order to protect America, American citizens and American structures, education, financial, and healthcare, we built Ellis Island, right? Because we didn't just want to do mass immigration because it could break the government structures if we didn't do it with the process. Do you understand? It could break the education system. They said 10 million people came in. Trump said 25 million. Is the education system in America prepared for the influx of 10 million new immigrants? We could be if we did it properly. Last administration, is she the border czar? I don't know if she's the border czar. She says she's the border czar. Is she black? It's okay if she's black. I don't know if she's black. She says she's black. She could be black. Is she the border czar? See, this is what happened. This is why families got split up. This is why we got $10,000 EBT cards and multi-million dollar bills at high-rise hotels in New York, because we didn't do it properly when we had an example. See, we had an example. We had something to learn from. We had Ellis Island. Who loves The Godfather? I love The Godfather. It's one of my favorite movies. What happened with Vito Corleone? In Godfather 2, they go back and they show him coming into the country. They say he came here from Sicily during a mass immigration because America opened up its borders. Give me your downtrodden. Do y'all remember those speeches? It's beautiful American history. This is what the Statue of Liberty represents. A lot of people don't even know what the Statue of Liberty means and what we did, the ideals behind them. Man, you should visit the Statue of Liberty. You should visit Ellis Island. You should understand what we built in the processing facilities. When Vito Corleone came here from Sicily on a boat, he had to go to Ellis Island through a processing facility where there were doctors, there were police officers to make sure the American, even though we wanted them here, we had to protect them. America first and protect the American structures. What happened to be going on during the time of that great migration? Well, it was smallpox. Like we have an epidemic now. And Biden administration just completely forgot about the epidemic that we just came out of, right? How hard it was. I lost my mother. People lost their grandparents. And you just let 10 million people in without testing them. All of us had to get tested. All of us had to get tested. I'm going to say it again. All of us had to get tested. I lost my mother. My wife lost her father. We lost people. People didn't go to prom. People didn't go to graduation. And you let 10 million people in without getting tested. How come we don't have a real talk? How come we're not honest about this issue? Because the Democrats make it a social issue and put your heart and your heartstrings on the line. And everybody has to be racist. And it's about social issues and not about the real mathematics, the logistics, that the Democrats did it wrong. The Democrats did not logistically manage the problem, right? If you wanted immigration, we have an example of how to do it correctly. We were a shining beacon for the world. The world looked at us. The world looked at how we did Ellis Island. So when Vito Corleone came into the country, they put him in quarantine. Do you know why Vito Corleone went into quarantine? Because it was a smallpox epidemic. And even though we wanted the immigrants to come to America, we didn't want Americans to die, because that would defeat the purpose of the immigrants coming here. That would defeat the purpose of them coming. We didn't want them to die. We didn't want Americans to die. So we did a process. It's called Ellis Island. And Vito Corleone had to go into quarantine because it was a smallpox epidemic and we didn't want to get Americans sick. Right? And while in quarantine, he got processed. He got papers, right? So he can go to school, get a job, get health care, right? This is how we did it in Ellis Island for everybody watching and saw families separated at the border. How and why were families separated? Biden, Kamala? Well, you didn't have any processing facilities. So any pregnant woman who came across, out of 10 million people, how many people you think were pregnant? How many people were children? All the pregnant women who came across, Trump says 25 million, the Democrats say 10 million. So what do we do with all the pregnant women? What do we do with all the children? We didn't have any logistics, right? We don't have any logistics. So the kids needed to go to the doctor. The moms need to go to the doctor, and families got separated. I blame the Democrats. I blame the Democrats. I blame Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, you were the border czar. It was your responsibility to set up an Ellis Island in Texas to make sure families weren't separated, to make sure children weren't lost, right? You needed to have doctors, just like in Ellis Island. You needed to have processing facilities where as soon as they came here, they saw a doctor first. Do you guys understand the logistics of what I'm saying? Vito Corleone came, where is your name? Where are you from? So that we know. Why do we need to know your name and where you're from? Because they know the diseases, the culture, right? So that you don't bring that here to America. You're no longer whatever you were. You're American now, right? Who are you? Where are you from? And then now go see the doctor. That was Ellis Island. Who are you? Where are you from? Why are you here? What you gonna do? And then go see the doctor. so that you don't bring any disease and make it worse in America. The reason we're asking you to come here is to make America great again. Hello, can anybody listen? The reason we want the immigrants to come here is to make America great again, to improve America. Does anybody agree about that? I don't hate immigrants. I love immigrants. I understand the need for immigrants. I said there was a right and a wrong way to do it. The Democrats did it so wrong that they got children lost, they destroyed families, and they made us look embarrassed to the whole world, like we don't know how to run our country and we don't know how to secure our borders. That's what the Democrats did. The Democrats made us look like fools. Joe Biden giving out water. The border was a sieve just leaking. The border agents was actually unsafe. It was actually unsafe during this time when they Democrats said we opened and they didn't have any logistics behind that speech, right? And then people start coming here from Venezuelan jails. They didn't have any criteria. They didn't say we just want Mexicans. They didn't say we just want a certain type of, you can't be a criminal. Biden didn't say that. Remember, Biden didn't say that. So guess what Venezuela did? Venezuela sent us criminals because they was like, okay, America said the borders is open. All y'all get out of my jail and go to America because there's no litmus test to get in. If you pregnant and I don't want to pay for your pregnancy, think about this. Pregnant women, sick children, disabled children, go to America. Why? Because they got free health care. You can go have your baby in America. They'll be American. You can go be disabled in America, get disability. So that's what happened. We didn't get scientists. We didn't get lab technicians. We got criminals, pregnant people, and disabled people who came here to benefit off of your tax dollar. High points from the meeting. Dire healthcare warning. Sanders warned that if President Trump wins this fight by forcing a funding bill without healthcare safeguards, the U.S. system could well collapse, leading to tens of thousands of preventable deaths annually. AOC highlighted skyrocketing premiums, potentially doubling, and cuts to ACA subsidies, Medicare, and Medicaid that would eviscerate $1 trillion from safety nets. Again, Democrats, all hyper-focused on your tax dollars going to people who are not American citizens. Let's keep going. Heated exchange. When asked if AOC would primary Chuck Schumer in 2028, both erupted in a flustered tag team defense, ranting against media capitalism and Trump rather than denying it outright. They refused to answer the question. Both erupted in a flustered tag team defense, ranting against media capitalism Trump rather than denying whether she would primary Chuck Schumer's. Sanders yelled at the audience. Listen to this. They scold you. Didn't Obama scold you for not voting for Kamala Harris? Obama scolded black men for not voting for Kamala Harris. Obama told black men that you have an identity crisis if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. So here it is again, Bernie Sanders and the baby boomers scolding us. Again, waving his old decrepit finger at the audience. It's your fault. But isn't it funny during the government shutdown, you still getting paid? You a millionaire elite. Does anybody know how much money Bernie Sanders is worth? Let's look up how much money, what is Bernie Sanders worth? Because I tell you all the time about these Democratic millionaire elite. What is Bernie Sanders worth? As he sits up there on his high horse and he's lecturing the audience, he's lecturing American citizens. He's telling you what to do and why it's your fault. The Democrats shut down the government, but Bernie Sanders, 80-year-old ass who you love, is lecturing you, waving his old white decrepit finger at you. It's your fault. It's my fault. Bernie Sanders is worth 1.5 million. Is not favorable. They say he's worth $1 million. I thought he was worth a lot more than that, but they say he's worth 1.5 million. I think that's a lie. Between 1 million and 1 point, though a precise figure is not available. His wealth comes from a book and royalties, but he's a millionaire. Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. You'd be hard pressed to find a Democrat who's not a millionaire. Double tap hit the like button. I need 100 likes 5 minutes ago. You'd be hard pressed to find a Democrat who's not a millionaire and they claim to fight for the people. That's a number one trick bag right there. You a multi-millionaire, but you fighting from the people. Key takeaways: deep partisan divide exposed. The town hall underscored irreconcilable gaps between Democrats and Republicans, with progressives framing the shutdown as a Trump orchestrated assault on healthcare and working families, while refusing short-term reopenings without concessions. It illustrated Democrats' shift to a harder line primed by Sanders and AOC mobilization. I've been talking about town halls, constituency. I said, what Jasmine Crockett should have done instead of getting on the plane and creating the issue. I said Jasmine Crockett should have did a town hall. I said the Democrats don't know how to do politics. I said Jasmine Crockett should have did a town hall and build consensus. Do you understand what they're trying to do? And they are failing. They are failing because they are late, and we are in the driver's seat. We are in the driver's seat. We are driving the conversation. We are driving the culture, and they are late to the party. You're late to the party, AOC. You're not even in the conversation. The House passed the clean CR. Bernie Sanders is a senator. Bernie Sanders shouldn't be on CNN. He should be in the Senate working on the goddamn budget. AOC, you not even in the conversation. Double tap at the like button. Get the likes up. Mrs. Perfect Timing, thank you for that reminder. AOC is a Congress representative. The Congress already passed the budget. It's up to the Senate now. Why is AOC sitting next to a senator? Because she's planning to primary Chuck Schumer. They want you to see her as a senator. We don't like AOC as a congresswoman. Why in the hell do you think we want her as a senator? Do y'all understand the writing on the wall, what's going on right now? Do y'all see what's going on right now? This ain't even about the people who are losing their jobs, 1 million people furloughed. It's about AOC running for office. This town hall is about AOC announcing her campaign. We're supposed to be opening the government. This is about AOC and Bernie Sanders helping AOC launch her Senate campaign. How many people understand that? The Democrats don't give a damn about you. The Democrats don't give a damn about you being unemployed. The Democrats don't give a damn about you being furloughed. AOC, they both laughed the whole time. What's so funny about 1 million Americans being furloughed? Do you know the FAA air controller still has to go to work? He's not getting paid. But because he's a federal employee, because he wants to keep the sky safe, he still goes to work every day. He's working 2 jobs now. This is a black man. We talked about how blacks overwhelmingly represent federal employees. This is a black man working for the federal government. He's not getting paid. He got to work 2 jobs. Do you know Bernie Sanders still gets a paycheck? Do you know AOC still gets a paycheck? During the government shutdown, this is why the government shutdown lasts so long. They still get paid. They still get paid. So we got a federal employee. Now think about this. We don't want him tired. He needs to go to work and watch the planes so don't nobody crash. Now he's working 2 jobs at night. What if he's tired? What if he misses a plane and someone dies and crashes because he has to work 2 jobs? Because the Democrats want to launch AOC Senate campaign. They didn't, when they were asked about what would it take to open up the government, they laughed. They don't have anything that they want. This is a game to the Democrats. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I'm saying the Republicans passed the budget. The Republicans passed the budget at the amount that the Democrats asked for. That budget is we voted on it 8 times in the Senate. We have 2 Democrats. We only need 5 more Democrats to open up the government. Do you guys really understand what's going on? Do you understand what's going on? The Republicans and the Democrats passed the budget in the Congress. Do you understand the different levels of government? The House, the Senate, and the presidency, and how bills get passed. It's only a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. Do you understand? Do you understand how things get passed? So it's already a budget. We could have the government open today because Trump would sign it. The House already passed it. Senate Democrats, like Chuck Schumer, like Bernie Sanders, won't vote for the bill. And instead of voting and negotiating, he's sitting next to AOC, helping her run her campaign. Why is all the Democrats campaigning for 4 years? It's such a long campaign. Gavin Newsom is already campaigning. Kamala Harris is already campaigning. When you see Kamala Harris write that 107 Days book, that's a campaign. I mean, I know some of you guys are young and you got your heartstrings all tied up in it. You haven't seen a lot of elections. You don't remember footprints in the sand. How many people in the chat? I'm not even gonna say who was the author. How many people in the chat remember footprints in the sand? I'm gonna ask Lane Reddick, because Lane is in the chat like they're a genius. Is there any other geniuses we should call out? Who else should we call out? Let's call out Lane. You're a genius. Lou, you've been saying a lot of smart things, Lou. You seem like a smart person. Who wrote the book Footprints in the Sand? To further my point about Kamala Harris, the book was to get the campaign money she lost back. Come on. Who wrote the book Footprints in the Sand? To my point about Kamala Harris, 107 days. She's still in debt after she wasted $1 billion. Who wrote the book? I want to know if all of the people who claim to be smart, who understand politics, you need to know who wrote the book Footprints in the Sand. Never said I was a genius, but if you're going to point fingers, you need to be transparent about it. Who wrote the book, Lane? Who wrote the book? I never read the book. School me. I love knowledge. Who wrote no one in the chat. See, this says a lot about trolls. And I point this out on purpose for people who watch and don't comment. Because now you realize how much knowledge they really have about the subject matter they talk. You haven't been? What do you mean? You haven't been there? Just look it up. I'm not going to tell you, look it up. You'll learn more. Like my father used to tell me, look it up. You'll learn more. Let's go to some video. Let's go to some video to further prove our point. I want to show them acting the fool. Look it up. Footprints in the Sand. It was a big deal. Look it up.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
I mean,
Right.
no.
Let me jump in on this one.
This is what we're
Caitlin,
talking about.
that's exactly what we're talking
This is what we're
You have a
talking
country
about.
that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. So one more time.
Nobody cares.
It's the House Speaker and President.
Nobody cares. This is their response to if AOC is going to primary Chuck Schumer from the left. They're giggling and laughing while you are furloughed. I need you guys to watch this and understand. You're out of work. Your uncle is out of work. Your dad is out of work. Got to work 2 jobs. They laughing. They're laughing on stage. This is supposed to be about the government shutdown. When asked about if AOC is going to primary Chuck Schumer from the left, it turns into a comedy festival while you're out of work, Americans. This is your Democrat Party. This is the Democrats. And remember, while we laughing, the Republicans have already passed the budget and it's just sitting in the Senate.
And Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world. Right?
And you a millionaire.
All right.
And you a
tell me why
millionaire.
we're the only nation not to guarantee health care to all people. The only nation not to guarantee paid family and medical leave. Why we have a $7.25 an hour minimum wage.
They got $7 minimum wage because you've been in office for 15 years. Obama was in office 8 years, never raised the minimum wage. Biden was in office 4 years, never. Biden took it out of the bill. So 12 years the Democrats had power. Trump only been president for 4 years. Remember that? And then y'all shut down Trump presidency with COVID and a quarantine. But for the past 20 years, the Democrats have had power, and you are the reason. When did the minimum wage stop going up? Minimum wage stopped at $7 when Obama took office. The entire time Obama was president, he never touched minimum wage. 8 years minimum wage never went up 1 damn cent under Obama. What are you talking about?
Why we have 800,000 people sleeping out on the street, why we have a president who denies the reality of climate change, why we have oligarchs on top who have more and more power every day. Let's talk about that issue, not her own political future. She'll decide that. No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Yeah, you getting primary, Chuck Schumer. You going down, Chuck Schumer. And AOC, they don't care about the government. They don't care about government shutdown. They don't care about government shutdown.
Ink on paper. What does that need to look like?
Look at this. They just giving out all the truth. If you wanted to know about what your Democratic Party, where their hearts lie, everybody who's out of work needs to see this town hall. Everybody who's been furloughed, who still has to go to work and not get paid, you need to see the sentiment. You understand? This ain't for children. This is for people who understand the sentiment, right? This may be above some of you guys' pay grade and intellect in the chat. You need to see the sentiment of your Democratic leaders.
What does that need to look like before you would vote to reopen the government?
Oh,
or is
I
a
mean-
commitment from the White House and
Oh,
Republicans
yeah,
enough?
no doubt.
I mean,
Mr. President, is a very honest man. And if
Yeah.
he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough?
bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments from?
I think we need to see ink, paper. I think we need to see legislation.
What is that? Do you guys understand why I'm doing this video today? Are you guys seeing it at home? Are you getting what I'm saying? The Democrats are doing a town hall. They've been asked several times, what do you want to open up the government? She says, pick up the phone. What do you ink on paper? They have nothing. If you are out of work as a Democrat, if you're a black Democrat, you need to Brexit the hell out of the Democratic Party. Not just because they use your job, not just because they use your son's dead body, because they don't have a plan. They use your job, they use your tax money, they use your son's dead body and don't even have a direction. They've been the reason I'm saying the town hall was a failure, because all the Democrats, AOC and Bernie, had to do was just put it back on Trump and say, if Trump does this, we can open up the government. They laughed. They don't have an answer. That's why this town hall is a failure. It's the same thing with Mel Biden. The Democrats, it's the same thing with Kamala Harris. You give the Democrats an alley-oop. They have the ability to slam dunk it. Look at the chat. People hate Trump. People hate me. People hate MAGA. This was an opportunity for AOC and Bernie Sanders to do a slam dunk. All they had to do was give you people in the chat something to yell at me about. All they had to do was give you something and say, AOC and Bernie said, if Trump does this and Trump does that, we can have the government open. And then you could say that to me over and over and over in the chat. You can't say shit. There's not shit for you to say. Hey, AOC, hey, Bernie, what do you need to open the government? Ink on paper. Get the hell out of here. Fire her. You're fired. Ink on paper. If you're a Democratic constituent in my chat, you should be pissed off. Ink on paper. What do you need to open the government? People are out of work. Ink on paper. I've been telling you guys, everybody who's my audience member, I know you love this. I love this. Because how long have I been saying the Democrats have no policy? The Democrats have no message. They have no clear, concise leadership. So when asked, what do you need to open the government? They give a vague answer when there's a million real people. See, the fucked up part is there's a million real people and she's giving a fake answer. I said it's fucked up that it's a million real Americans not getting paid and she's giving a fake answer and you still vote Democrat. Ain't that fucked up? I think that's fucked up.
Bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments from?
I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. I think we need to see votes. And I think we need to see these things pass on the floor of the House and the Senate and signed by President Trump. I don't accept IOUs. I don't accept Pinky promises, that's not the business that I'm in.
Okay, so you need a signature from President Trump
Absolutely.
in order to vote to reopen the government.
Correct.
Okay, Senator Sanders, we've got another question. This one's for you. What does that need to look like before you would vote?
Do you hear this? This is a lack of concern about your issues. Ink on paper. If you are a politician, most politicians are lawyers. You can't articulate better than that. You couldn't give your constituents and the American people something better than that. Ink on paper. That's disgusting. And she wants to go she's currently a congresswoman and she wants to run for Senate. If Democrats vote her into the Senate, we might, I don't know how I feel about America if someone that incompetent ends up a senator. It's scary. It's scary. She should not become a senator. She can't even answer a question. 1 million people are out of work. See, this is the thing. Me and you don't have to have a good answer to that question. You and I don't have to have a good answer. We are not politicians on the public stage who want to go to a higher level in political atmosphere. You understand? She needs to have clear, concise answers, not me and you. She needs to be able to articulate to me and you, educate me and you on what in the budget she needs and wants in order to open it so that you feel confident in voting for her to be a senator. Yes. She needs to have this executive ability, like we're in a boardroom. You need to explain it to your constituents what is lacking in the Republican proposal and what you would do and how you would do it to open the government if I want to believe in you to be a senator or maybe president. It's absolutely bonkers. This is bonkers. I can't stand it, bro. They just get away with just the most outlandish shit. What else I got? I got something else. I had something else. AOC and Bernie Sanders were asked questions like, what do I tell my landlord when my back pay is coming? By a TSA officer, and what will I do for food, money, by an air traffic controller on CNN Town Hall. All they got was a word salad. All they got was a word salad. Listen to this. I'm telling you the facts, and you just saw it with your own eyes. AOC and Bernie got asked by everyday Americans like me and you who go to work. And what you don't understand, those federal employees still have to go to work because the airport is not closed. The airport is open. Those federal employees have to go to work and they won't be getting paid. So a TSA agent asked about back pay because they can't pay their rent. So they had to go negotiate with their landlord. Hey, I'm an officer. Here's my badge. Here's my gun. I work for the federal government. There's a government shutdown. I won't be getting paid, but when I get paid, I will pay my rent. Will you please not evict me? So that person asked AOC, what do I do? And you saw what AOC did. AOC laughed. When asked, how do you get that person in TSA back to work? AOC said ink to paper. AOC didn't say I need 50 million for this. AOC didn't say we need 2 billion to fund this. AOC said ink to paper. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? If it was Lou, if it was you, Lou, would you be okay going to your landlord or going to the bank for your mortgage? Are you in good standings with your bank after COVID? Because a lot of people got some financial issues after COVID. Would you be able to go to your bank? Would you be able to go to your lender? Would you be able to go to your landlord and say, I am a federal employee? Because they don't have a provision for that in your loan contract. Did you know that? Your landlord legally doesn't have to give you that, right? There's no provision that says there's no federal law. See, there's nobody coming out protecting you. What would you go to your landlord and would your landlord allow you to live in his domicile for free? Would your loan officer allow you to forego your mortgage payment? And for how long, Lou? How long would your loan officer allow you to forego your mortgage, Lou? I'm a teacher. That's even worse. Schools were closed, but I live in New York and they pay all educators. I said, Lou, they not getting paid. They not getting paid. Right now, federal TSA, aviators, FAA, air traffic controllers not getting paid. They need to make negotiations with their loan officers and their landlords. How would you feel, Lou? How would you feel, Lou? See, Lou is doing the same thing that AOC did because he's trolling. It's a double talking troll bitch move. You pulling a bitch move. You pulling a bitch move, so I'm going to put you on timeout because you a bitch. Let's put Lou on timeout because he a bitch. I'm putting you on timeout. Come back tomorrow for that bitch move. Be a man in my chat. Be a man in my chat, bitch. It's real people out of work while you guys playing around in the chat like AOC. Ink the paper. They're going to get their money. They're going to get their money right now. Their landlord has legal rights to evict them. Right now, the landlord has a legal right to evict that person who's a federal employee who protects the skies. Who protects the skies. There goes another bitch in my chat. Bye, bitch. Bye, Joe King, the bitch. There's another bitch. Bye, bitch. It's easy to get rid of a bitch. So what happens for that person's rent? What happens for that person's mortgage? It's obvious to me the people in the chat don't care. The people, just like AOC cares more about running for office, you guys care more about
talking about having
making a joke. You guys care more about making a joke than fixing the problem. Let's make a joke. Let's not fix the problem. That's what you want to do. Now another bitch just came in. Get these bitches up out of here. Bitch, 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 make me rich. Bitch, 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 make me rich. Tommy G, what's up, man? Tommy G. Tommy G said, and once you get behind, it's hard to catch up. Feel for people. Come on, Tommy G. They don't know what they doing. And Lane, you better say something smart. I'm gonna get your bitch ass the fuck out of here because you never answer my question. Lane, is your whole talking point about just one side of you're going to be transparent? Get Lane bitch ass out of here. I knew you was a bitch ass troll. Fuck you, bitch. Yes, it's a MAGA channel, you bitch. Just like you got Fox News and CNN, you stupid bitch. I'm not MS. You got MSNBC, left-leaning media, and you got right-leaning media, stupid bitch. I'm right-leaning, MAGA, 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 MAGA. Make America great, not just for you, though. Make America great for everybody. That's why I love Trump. Trump is stopping crime in black cities. There are black professionals happy about Trump in Memphis. How is Trump racist when Trump is stopping crime in black cities? DC, do you know what the nickname for DC is? The nickname of DC is Chocolate City. DC's nickname. So when there's a safe zone in Chocolate City, who people are safer? Who's able to go outside? Black people. Thank you, Trump. In Memphis. In Memphis, I played several videos yesterday where black professionals in Memphis are happy that Trump is in Memphis because a black woman said yesterday she bought a house in Memphis, and this is the first time in 5 years her children could play outside. You know what I did? I broke down why it's dangerous outside. I showed you a story where you guys remember Big Balls in Washington, D.C., right? The reason why we went to Washington, D.C. is because Big Balls was coming home from work at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they tried to carjack a girl. Big Balls stopped that girl from getting carjacked, and he got beat up. Almost beat to death. So listen, there were 2 felonies that occurred that night. Big Balls, attempted murder, and attempted carjacking. The people arrested yesterday were let go free. Shout out to M and J Vids for the gift. Thank you so much. Sent a latte. I need a latte. Check this out. The criminals who attempted to carjack, felony number 1, attempted to murder Big Balls, who tried to protect the young lady from getting carjacked, both got probation. Do you understand what that means? They go home. They go back to school. They were 15 years old. Listen to this. It's hard to understand this. It's hard to understand this. In Washington, D.C., 2 15-year-olds attempted to carjack and murder a man and a woman. They were arrested and given probation. They were arrested and given probation. When we saw the stabbing of that white girl a week ago, and we learned that the person who stabbed her had got arrested 30 times and got released and released and released until he murdered that poor girl. Now you understand why it's so unsafe in democratic cities. Trump is not doing that. I showed you it was a black female judge named Kendra, a black female judge, let those 2 felonies become probation, and they get to go back into the community and commit more crimes. Would you feel safe if your children, your 15-year-old daughter, had to go to school with these 2 15-year-olds? How would you feel if you lived in this area and your 15-year-old children had to go ride their bikes in the same neighborhood with children who carjack and murder? Now, one of the things that I learned yesterday when I heard about the adjudication is that the attack took place at 3 o'clock in the morning. I said the parents should be charged. The attack took place at 3 o'clock, and that means a 15-year-old child was out, and a 15-year-old girl was out at 3 o'clock in the morning committing felonies. That is a failure and a breakdown of the city and the government. You guys understand that? When you have, Big Ball said he was leaving a party. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He's walking a girl to her car, and he notices 10 people on the corner, 10 guys. He didn't say black guys. He just said there were 10 guys on the corner. I rushed her into the car. They ran over and they beat me. They broke my jaw. He said, I tried my best not to go to the ground because they were hitting me so hard. I knew if I went to the ground, it would be bad. They would have killed him. That's why I argue probation was too lenient, because the goal was to kill him. Now, why were there 10 15-year-olds out at 3 a.m. in the morning? You never heard about this aspect. I'm sharing these details with you. Why were there 10 teenagers out at 3 a.m. in the morning committing felonies in a pretty affluent part of Washington, D.C., in the capital area? Big Balls works for Doge. He's not in the ghetto. They weren't in the ghetto. They were in a pretty nice area. Why were they out? I want to show you something.
2 million Americans, a little bit more. They were first passed during COVID, renewed under Biden, basically by holding healthcare premiums set as a percentage of income, that kind of thing. The goal here was to help people who might need financial help, who aren't necessarily in poverty, but who are struggling. So if you look at what happens if they expire, it becomes a very different ballgame. 4 million people become uninsured almost immediately based on some estimates out there. Dramatic rate hikes would follow as well. How high would those rate hikes be? Well, if you were making $18,000 a year, not much, your current premium for this is $0. That's great, but then $378 is your new premium. $378 is the change. If you're making $35,000 a year, your current premium, $1,033. Your new premium, if it expires, look at that, more than double. So up 15, almost 1,600. And if you're 55,000, 4,000 jumps up to 5,478, another giant jump there. And look at this on what they call higher earners. Imagine an older couple out there who's making $85,000 a year. That's not billionaires or anything like that, but that's a higher earner in this case. Here's their current premium. $7,225 per year. That's 8.5% of their income. That's sort of the top end under the current rules. Under the change, if it expires, that will jump to $25,000 per year. That's almost a 30% increase. That's almost 30% of their income, not an income, 30% of their income for the year. That's a tough thing if you're making $85,000 a year. Now, Republicans are looking at this and by and large saying, we're aware of all of that, we can get to that at some point, but what we're really worried right now is the idea that somebody who's undocumented might be covered by this. Well, the law itself says that is not the case. It actually says the only people who could get this would be people who are
The audio, let me try again. How about that?
lawfully present in the United States beyond citizens, lawfully present in the United States. So people who have come through the right channels, who have been approved to be here while they're seeking asylum, or maybe they hold green cards or whatever it is. They're in the country legally. So there would be some instances maybe, but this, from Democratic standpoint, is a minuscule part of this program. And Republicans are saying, but let's focus on this. And we'll get to that other part later on. Democrats are saying the other part is the important part. You have to talk about that. And if you look at who's going to be hit, if this expires, you can understand why some Republicans are also saying, yeah, maybe we need to get around to this now. Because look, these are the hardest hit states if the credits expire. California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. That's where you have the highest number of enhanced subsidy recipients. And this one, all voted red in the last presidential election. The truth is, if these expire, this is going to hit a lot of people in this country, millions of people, and a lot of them in red states that backed Donald Trump.
Look at that smile.
When your money is spread across.
Look at that smile. You see how happy she was? You see how happy she was? Look at that smile. Don't look at my desk, y'all. My desk is full of like all type of shit. Don't look at my desk. I got toys. I got Manta. Manta usually be right here. How my audio? My audio good? Manta usually be right there. That's the Black Manta. That's Black Manta. And Black Manta usually be humping Spider-Man. Black Manta and Spider-Man be humping. There they go. They could have a hump face. He could grab, I should have him grab Aquaman hair. So I just wanted you guys to see that so y'all can
see
understand.
your full financial picture.
Let's go to Cortez, man. I want some more AOC running for Senate. Let's get some more AOC. Let me show you something else I want to share with the audience. I had something else. Here we go. Let me share something this. Now, I'm in California, and the Truth is Permanent just said that he thought that that California covered was sold a dream. You're absolutely true. So let me tell you something else about California. Do you guys remember Gavin Newsom giving out licenses to people who were not citizens, right? Do you guys remember the guy who got a license and then he drove to Florida and killed somebody? Guess what I learned? Mr. Perfect Timing, you still in the chat? Mr. Perfect Timing, guess what I learned today about the gentleman who got a license in California, even though he wasn't a citizen? He didn't know how to read. He couldn't read English. He couldn't read the street. How do you get a license? Do you guys remember license to drive? Who remember River Phoenix? Rest in peace. I'm 50 years old. I went to high school and I graduated high school in 93. Who remember? I love Corey Feldman. I love not the Rat Pack, but the Brat Pack. So all of those guys, I love those guys. So I love River Phoenix. I love the movie License to Drive. I remember what we had to go through to get a license at 16. Everybody took driver's ed. Who remembers Murder on the Highway? Who remember the trailers in high school where you had the 48, about to be 49? So did you love Less Than Zero? Oh, we had great films. License to Drive. River Phoenix. He was in one of the Indiana Jones. I love River Phoenix. Rest in peace. But it was a big thing to get a car and to learn how to drive at 16, and it was difficult. We all went to driver's ed. We had to learn the test and the exam, and then we had to do a driver's test. And everybody was terrified to do the driver's test, right? And to think that someone, Mr. Stretch called me a liar, 610. You going on timeout, Mr. Stretch, because I don't got time for the BS. But I'm only going to put you on timeout for 5 minutes so you can come back and get your life together. So Gavin Newsom gives out these licenses, but I thought that at least they have to pass the driver's exam, right? I thought that at least they had to like not only drive and pass, but take the test. If you can't read English, are they giving the test in different languages? How are they getting the license if they can't read? So I want to play a video for you. Attorney General James Utmeyer, tonight we filed a lawsuit. Listen to this. You didn't know about this. This may be the first time you heard about it. There was a lawsuit filed against Gavin Newsom in California in the U.S. Supreme Court because their so-called sanctuary policies for illegal aliens are harming states like Florida. California must pay for the carnage of the open border policies and unlawful CDL programs. Gavin Newsom, do you guys understand? There's a brand new lawsuit. Gavin Newsom is being sued and it's in the Supreme Court. And I don't understand because it's not constitutional. Remember, I read to you the definition of sanctuary city and ice-free zones, and I told you that the sanctuary city is not based in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So Gavin Newsom is going to have to tell the Supreme Court what is the basis for a sanctuary city if there's no legal foundation for you providing these rights to people who are not citizens. Let's listen to the details of this lawsuit against Gavin Newsom in California, and y'all let me know in the chat. What do you think? Do you think
An illegal immigrant in India made an illegal U-turn on a Florida highway? Remember that? Causing a crash. It killed 3 Haitians living in the U.S. under temporary protected status. The illegal was only behind the wheel because he had a commercial driver's license from California, also one in Washington, which he only got because California gives out regular driver's license, even commercial ones, to illegals. Once you have one of those, not too difficult to upgrade to a commercial license. Remember, we found out after that deadly accident that killed innocent people that this illegal driver, he couldn't read. He couldn't read road signs, didn't understand English. In other words, the entire situation was caused by California's sanctuary state policies. He also has that license from Washington state. Okay, as a result, about 12 minutes ago, Florida's Attorney General is now suing. He's taking on California and Washington state. He's taking it to the Supreme Court. He's saying that their state laws are an unconstitutional and public nuisance, and he wants the court to stop those states from giving commercial driver's licenses to illegals. And breaking tonight, the Department of Transportation announcing under Sean Duffy that it will be withholding $40 million in grant money from the state of California for failing to uphold the English language proficiency requirements for truck drivers.
Can you believe that? God, this is how Gavin Newsom is costing you so much. I don't think Gavin Newsom, who is a multimillionaire, is worth this much. Gavin Newsom lost Tesla. You know, Tesla was in California. You know, Elon Musk wanted to build the new Tesla plant in California. He couldn't work it out with Gavin Newsom. He went to Texas. Gavin Newsom now costs another $40 million. Gavin Newsom lost $100 million in fire aid. Gavin Newsom let a reservoir go dry. They knew that reservoir was dry. Before those fires, before Gavin Newsom, and I can blame Gavin Newsom because he knew that reservoir was dry. He knew we didn't have the water. He knew we didn't have fire engines, and he should have been preparing for the fire season. We have a fire season every year. Gavin Newsom let that reservoir run dry and let houses and people die in California. Now he's costing you another $40 million. Can you afford that? Just be honest, bro. Now Gavin Newsom and his sanctuary city policies that are not based in the Constitution is costing California more. The citizens, not Gavin Newsom. Let's look up how much is Gavin Newsom worth. How much money is Gavin Newsom worth? How much money is, let's find out, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard pressed to find a Democrat who's not a millionaire. I'm telling you, they're all millionaire elites, and no one talks about it. He's worth over 30 million. Goddamn, Gavin Newsom is worth 30 to 40 million fucking dollars, bro. 30 million fucking dollars, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Nancy Pelosi, husband, 400 million. Maxine Waters, million. Bernie Sanders, millions and billions and billions and billions, millions and billions and millions and billions. All of your favorite Democrat leaders are liberal elites. All your favorite Democrats are multi-millionaire liberal elites. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm more pissed. You know, they should not get licenses. They shouldn't get licenses. That's going to win in the Supreme Court. But I'm pissed at Gavin Newsom. I live in California, and he keeps making us lose. How much is he going to cost? Do you guys know how much this? My wife, Mrs. Perfect Timing, helps me a lot. My wife is one of the most intelligent people I know. There she go, Mrs. Perfect Timing. She's one of the most intelligent people I know. Well, after my show the other day, she came to me and she slapped. She's Sicilian. And she could get, you know, and she came to me, she said, "You didn't read my comment." I said, "Baby, I'll be flowing." She said, "I was telling you in the comments that Gavin Newsom has spent $230 million on a special election to get those 5 seats, Prop 50. Prop 50 in California, the Democrats have spent $230 million on Prop 50. Not $1 has gone to LA fire victims. Not one piece of paper has allowed LA fire to rebuild. Not one house. Not one house. But Gavin Newsom thinks it's more important than you getting your home, than you having water to protect your home. It's the holidays. That means all those people who lost their home, it's going to be sadder for them. It'd be different if your house is being rebuilt. But you got to explain to your kids, we're not going to have a house for Christmas. Ain't no Christmas because we don't got no house. And Gavin Newsom won't even give them the permission to rebuild, let alone the $100 million that got stolen. But Gavin Newsom thinks it's more important to spend $230 million on a special election to get 5 seats to put you back in the back seat. Because right now, let me tell you the math. If you don't understand how many seats are in the House versus how many seats are in the Senate, those 5 seats are insequential, not sequential. Right now, the Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. If Democrats get 5 seats in California and Republicans take 5 in Texas, guess what happens? We just wasted $200 million in California because the Republicans are still in power in the House, the Senate, and the White House. What the fuck is Jasmine Crockett and Gavin Newsom doing? What the fuck are they really doing? Do you understand the math? See, people didn't take civics in high school. They don't understand the 3 branches of government. They don't understand why the government is shut down and how a bill gets passed. They don't understand the numbers that Trump has a mandate. How many people before today understood that the Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House? That's why Trump was able to pass the big, beautiful bill in a week. Trump has a mandate. The American people voted a Republican majority in the Senate. The American people voted a Republican majority in the House. And they put a Republican in the White House. The American people gave the Republicans the ball. The American people did this. It wasn't magic. It wasn't Russian collusion. The American people voted a majority Senate Republican and a majority House Republican, and then they voted in a Republican president. Now, AOC is playing keep away with your paycheck so that she can run for Senate. And Gavin Newsom is wasting hundreds of millions of dollars on a nothing burger. Let's say Gavin Newsom wins the 5 seats. Do the Democrats gain a majority in the House? Do the Democrats gain a majority in the Senate? What do they get? Nothing. You get nothing. Just like the LA fire victims, you get nothing. You get zilch. You drank fizzy lifting drinks. You touched the ceiling. Someone has to clean it off, so you get nothing. You get zilch. Zero. That's what you get.
Here are the details. Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer is with us. James, great to have you. You know, in California, they have something. It's the weirdest thing. It's called the California Values Act they passed. It bans agencies, even licensing agencies, from asking one's immigration status. We discovered after this, the guy didn't speak English, couldn't read road signs. That means those lives could have been saved, doesn't it?
It's a shame. And that's why we're taking Gavin Newsom to the Supreme Court. Tonight, just moments ago, we filed a lawsuit against California on behalf of Florida to hold them accountable for the carnage that their sanctuary illegal immigration policies have caused to states like Florida across the country. Here in Florida, we can do everything right. We can back the blue. We can enforce the law. We can combat illegal immigration. But we still suffer when Gavin Newsom and liberals on the West Coast allow these illegals in. They encourage them, enable them to get these driver's licenses, and then they cross the country and ultimately take lives. Drug cartels cross the country and they take lives. So they need to pay for it. We're going to hold them accountable.
You know, I've been asking this question of everybody over and over again on this show. If you are a sanctuary city and state, by definition, are you not aiding and abetting in the law breaking? I mean, how are they not culpable if you're giving taxpayer benefits to people that don't belong in this country, didn't respect our laws, our borders, our sovereignty?
They are culpable. They care more about their love affair with illegals than protecting American citizens, American victims that suffer every day from the harms that, you know, the open border has caused to the rest of the country. And that's why we're bringing this lawsuit. We've seen across the country these days, you know, soft on crime policies, they don't work. Brutal stabbings where people have been released 14 prior times. In Florida, that doesn't fly. We're tough on crime. We hold people accountable. We enforce the law. We want people behind bars for as long as possible.
Let me ask you a last question. Did this then open up these states and elected officials
Florida
to
don't play.
liability
Florida don't
themselves
play. Put that
if
in
in
the
fact
chat.
they
Florida don't
allow,
play.
aid, and abet illegal immigrants and then terrible things happen?
Yes, I believe so. They are knowingly aware of the dangers that their policies cause. They know that by giving people these truckers' licenses who don't speak English, they're putting families on the road in jeopardy. Lives are lost. They know about it. They need to be held responsible.
Amen. Straight up. That's how you do politics. Left to the left. That's how you do politics. You don't have to get a rifle, get on the roof. This is how you do politics if you disagree. You need to learn. He filed a lawsuit. This is going to affect Gavin Newsom in his presidential campaign. I love it. I love it. Good job to the MAGA Republicans. Good job to the MAGA Republicans. So we went over the town hall. We went over Gavin Newsom. Yeah, I think that's all I had, man. Oh, they talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's get this in. Let's get this last one at AOC. Marjorie Taylor Greene took the Democratic steam. Write that down.
You mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's your colleague over in the House. The way she frames this is she says Democrats created this mess, but Republicans don't have any solutions to fix the healthcare issue either. Is she someone that you could see yourself working with?
On what?
On the healthcare.
I mean, listen,
What is so funny?
I think
What is so funny? Americans are out of work. People are hurt. It's the holidays. Why is she so happy in this town hall? What is wrong with the Democrats? It is something wrong. What is wrong with the Democrats? Straight up. Like, they want to, Kamala did the same thing. Kamala lost Kamala lost the race, and AOC is doing. What is wrong with the Democrats? I mean, this is not the tenor. This is not the proper tenor for this conversation. And what I said to out of work federal employees, pay attention to the sentiment of your Democratic leadership, because this is disrespectful. I honestly believe this is just disgusting.
On what?
On the healthcare.
I mean, listen.
Do you realize that it's your job? AOC, do you realize it's your job to work with Marjorie Taylor Greene? We're not in a, this is not a monarchy. Your job is to work with the other
healthcare
side.
issue either. Is she someone that you could see yourself working with?
On what?
On the healthcare.
I mean,
That's not funny. That was childish. That was a childish response. That's not how a politician who wants to be a senator responds to working with somebody across the aisle.
Says Democrats created this mess, but Republicans don't have any solutions to fix the healthcare issue either. Is she someone that you could see yourself working with?
on what?
On the healthcare.
On healthcare.
I mean, listen, I think people can talk a good game, but until they actually support policy that helps people, I'm not particularly interested. But if she actually wants to support legislation and expanding healthcare, I've worked with plenty of Republicans as well on healthcare. I have a bill that I've introduced with Congresswoman Malliotakis, a Republican from New York, on expanding maternal health and reauthorizing the Healthy Start program to help newborns and new moms be able to support their kids. And so in terms of bipartisan legislation on healthcare, I'm more than open to doing that. But it's not just about talking the talk. We got to walk the walk.
I honestly believe the Democrats I think the Democrats don't understand democracy, right? Did you hear that? AOC and the Democrats I don't think they understand democracy versus a monarchy, right? AOC is willing to work with someone who will only agree with what the Democrats want to do. And the American people have said overwhelmingly by putting the Republicans in power in the Senate, the House, and the White House that the Democrats have this shit fucked up. America is a melting pot. You have to negotiate. And the Democrats only want to work with people who want to do the Democrat left-leaning thing. The Democrats, I said the Democrats are the real royals. Nancy Pelosi been in office over 30 years, $400 million. Maxine Waters been in office so long. Chuck Schumer. If you want to look for royalty in America, look at the Democratic liberal elite. Remember under COVID quarantine, Nancy Pelosi didn't follow her own rules. She's going to dinner parties. She's going to beauticians. Gavin Newsom having dinner parties. The liberal millionaire elite did not follow their own strict policies. They don't care, bro. They do not care. AOC does not care about you. She giggled and laughed like a high school girl when asked would she work with MTG. She said, oh, what? Everybody likes me. Everybody wants me. I don't have to vote for her. I don't want to work with her. No, because I have too many friends. It's a mean girl type of mentality. On what? If she comes to the table and she does what I want her to do, then maybe. Bitch, you is a motherfucking House representative for America, bitch. You don't get to dictate to nobody how they gonna work with you, bitch. That's why people like that shouldn't be in politics, bro. People like that should not be in politics. But I'm gonna say thank you to everybody for watching. We had a great show today. I'm not gonna fight with the algorithm no more. Hella entitled. I'm not gonna fight with the algorithm no more. I love what we accomplished today. You know what I'm saying? I'm growing in my YouTube journey. I'm having a lot of growth in my YouTube journey, and I'm just gonna accept the they said, what was that Roll with the Punches? What was that movie with Clint Eastwood? Oh, I love that movie, man. But I'm gonna just roll with the punches, man, as far as this YouTube shit go, man. AOC thinks she's Tay-Tay. For what? I'm not gonna work with her. You're a politician. It's in the definition of your job description. You work with the other side. When you know what they say all the time when they run for office? You want to vote for somebody who knows how to work with the other side. And this bitch get up here on her high horse. For what? Because 1 million people are out of work, bitch. And it's the holidays, bitch. You need to work with the other side. Come to a consensus, come to an agreement. Let me say my last speech. Why do we have two branches? Why do we have two, Democrat and Republican? Well, the framers were the greatest men to ever live. They created the greatest documents, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The reason they did this is because we did not want to be under a monarchy. And they created checks and balances. We even got the Supreme Court to make sure that we never end up under monotheistic theocracy again. You know, when we were, when the people left, not only did there's a king, but there was Christianity. You had to pay taxes and bow to the king, but you also had to be Christian. It was a monotheocracy. And that's why in America, not only was it about freedom and not being oppressed by taxes, but it was about religious freedom. One of the biggest tenements of the creation of America is this religious freedom, because we were leaving from a monotheocracy. One idea ruled, whatever the king says goes. The Democrats think we still live in a monarchy. The Democrats want it to be whatever they say goes. The Democrats are infringing upon our religious freedom. The Democrats and the liberal radicalized left want to call us that we believe in Sky Daddy. They don't want us to say Merry Christmas. They don't want us to say Happy Holidays. You need to pay attention to the writing on the wall and what is going on. But in order to understand what the Democrats are doing, you need to understand what America was built on. We left British rule because we wanted religious freedom. We wanted independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution, checks and balances, so that we never end up under mono one ideology theatrics like this LGBTQ right left wing. If you guys don't understand, that is a religion. It's a religion and an ideology, and they are ready to kill. Y'all don't get it? They want to kill. They want to fight and kill if they don't get their way. If the LGBTQ left radicalized don't get their way, they kill. They get violent. That's a monarchy, bro. That's king shit. And if you listen to Antifa, if you listen to those left-wing radicals, they just like AOC, they don't want to negotiate. They rather fight in the street. They don't want to negotiate. They rather burn up a Tesla. And America is not being honest about what's happening with the Democrats. They want to say, oh, the right wing is violent too. No, the right wing is willing to negotiate. Even the people who get upset and violent on the right, they will negotiate. There is nobody like Antifa on the right. There is nobody who would choose violence above negotiation. They don't care. They believe in what did they say? They said we are trained Marxists. I've never heard no shit like that on the right. And that gets ignored. I've never heard no shit like that on the right. They said we are trained Marxists. They would rather burn it down, bro. These Democrat leftists would rather, these trained Marxists, they would rather burn it down. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm just being honest. Keith Frazier. You can come back tomorrow, bro. I ain't even gonna put you on timeout or no weird shit, because I know it's a lot of low intellect individuals. But I want to say everybody who's watched, Just Jinx, Charles, The Truth is Permanent. I've seen a lot of new people coming in I haven't seen in a while. And Red Pill Mixed Chick. I seen Red Pill Mixed Chick yesterday. I remember her coming to my platform in the beginning. Shout out to Chaotic Truth. I remember Red Pill Mixed Chick being over there on Chaotic Truth panel. Shout out to Red Pill Mixed Chick. Shout out to Chaotic Truth. Shout out to The Truth Was Pointed, Charles Oakey, Just Jinx. You know, a lot of people I haven't seen in a while showed up. Relax and Talk Sports. I've been waiting to see you, brother. It's good to see you again. Yeah, man. Mrs. Perfect Timing. Somebody, and then who else gave us gifts? Mrs. Perfect Timing. Somebody else. I shouted them out when they gave us the gifts, but we got some gifts. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting the channel, watching the channel. Thank you for everybody for subscribing. We do this every day at 11 a.m. My name is Perfect. This is the Perfect Timing Podcast. This is the top of the mid-morning podcast from an OG perspective. What I would like everybody to do right now is hit the like button, hit the subscribe, double tap the screen. Let's get some heart emojis. Let's get the laugh emojis. Before we get out of here, let's let YouTube know you're watching the #1 podcast on YouTube. The way you do that, you double tap, you break that damn button. Let me see them heart emojis. Let me see them laugh emojis. There we go. Double tap, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, hit the super chat. We got a super chat at $2, 325 gifts. Everything helps the channel. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for everybody supporting. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Let me see if anybody got any last minute trolls, any last you give facts that I need for those who don't know. Thank you. Thank you. The truth is permanent. Nonchalant said Rome, religion, London equals bank, DC military. It be some deep people. Just Jinx. We can't relax right now, fam. I'm sorry, but it's too many things going on to be calm. I agree. Charles said thank you. Thank you to everybody, man. Every day I'm smashing on this. Every day I'm smashing on this, giving out information, because every day that propaganda machine they got 24-hour news cycle. From O.J. Simpson trial, you got to understand CNN, MSNBC, 24-hour news cycle that they work in. This is why people come in my chat and they feel so confident. That's why I asked them, footprints in the sand. Because they're commenting on Kamala Harris in my commentary on her book and her campaigning. 107 days is a campaign. Thanks for the support, Mrs. Perfect Timing. Thank you. So before I leave, who wrote the book, Footprints in the Sand? Barack Obama. My mother bought me the book because this was a black man who was actually African with a white grandmother, a white millionaire grandmother. He grew up white. He only dated white women. But Footprints in the Sand was a book about him being black, akin to Negro, speaking to young black men who needed a voice. And he talked about footprints in the sand for young black men. So he was trying to tap into something, even though he wasn't. Footprints in the Sand was the first in some powerful, powerful political propaganda from an African who was raised by affluent whites and went to Harvard and didn't know shit about the Negro experience. He had to be trained how to be black by Jeremiah Wright. And his Negro pastor in that Negro church. But Barack Obama only had white friends and only fucked white bitches. Bad white bitches. And he was the president of Harvard Law. He was popular. He was attractive. He didn't know shit about being black. He didn't know shit about being discriminated against. He didn't know shit about Negro oppression in the Negro South. He didn't come from the Negro South. He wasn't raised by Negroes. He didn't live with Negroes. His father was an affluent Kenyan politician, African. He's not Negro. His mother was a bad white bitch who fucked an African. And he was raised by a white grandmother who ran a bank, who could afford to send his African ass to Harvard Law. He didn't know shit about being black in America, but he wrote the book, Footprints in the Sand. Part of his campaign to be president after being a junior senator for 1 year. Did y'all know Barack Obama didn't have no experience? Barack Obama did not have any experience. He lost his first campaigns. And he only won when he got Jeremiah Wright and Michelle Obama to blacken him up. And he only was a junior senator for 5 minutes before he ran for president. He was running for president when he was in his first term as junior senator, he got in trouble because he wasn't even there to vote because he was too busy running for president. Do y'all know who y'all watching? Do you know who you're watching? You know I'm not playing, right? You know it's a reason why I get the views that I get, right? Do you know who you're watching? That's why I asked the trolls who wrote the book Footprints in the Sand, because I know they don't have the intellect I possess, the facts on the ground. They just want to talk shit in my chat, but they stupid as fuck. They don't read and they don't really give a fuck about America. Because if you really want to troll me and you got to have an opinion, your fucking ass should have known about Barack Obama's book, Footprints in the Sand, and compared it to Kamala Harris winning in 107 days like the fuck I did. But you can't do that. All you could do is talk shit in my chat. You didn't read the book. You didn't read shit. You don't understand politics in America. You a fucking troll bitch baby. Check out Barack Obama, Footprints in the Sand, and understand what Kamala Harris is doing with 107 days. Kamala Harris is running for president. Kamala Harris is running for president. This is her launching her 2028 campaign when she tries her best, and now she has 4 years. She wrote the book now, so she has 4 years to put that shit behind her. She blamed everybody in the book. It wasn't me. It was Biden didn't have my back. Barack Obama didn't call me back. Gavin Newsom didn't have my back. Nancy Pelosi didn't have. Bitch, who picked you then? If all those people didn't have your back, who picked you? Who said no convention? Who said we going with Kamala and no convention? Nancy Pelosi in the book. We should have a convention. Barack Obama and Michelle, we not going to come in. Gavin Newsom, nobody supported you, Kamala. Who the fuck picked Kamala? It's so much y'all don't know about politics in America, and y'all don't know what's going on right now. It's dangerous how ignorant the American people is. She just wrote a book, 107 Days, telling you that all the Democratic elites told her no. The only question I have after reading the book is, who told her yes? Who had the power above Obama and Pelosi? The leaders of the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Pelosi, everybody told her no. Who the fuck said we not going to convention? Who got that kind of pull to go above Biden, above Obama, above Gavin? Who said we going with Kamala and we not going to convention? That is the $1 million question. You and the guys, that is the multi-million-dollar question. And that's how you know the trolls is just trolling. They're not reading, they're not researching, they just trolling. Jinx said, that's how I know I'm doing right. Thank you, Jinx. See y'all tomorrow, 11 a.m., man. Y'all have a great day.